You are looking in live at Reese Stadium on the campus of Yale University as we continue Ivy League play. As today, we continue on the trend of Penn against Yale as it's an all-weekend affair. We've had football last night, field hockey earlier today, and it's a soccer doubleheader. It's the women's turn. The men come later at 7 p.m. JJ Dukin alongside me is Brian Tompkins. And Brian, it's been kind of an interesting go about it for Yale in the Ivy League slate this season, starting off on a high with that draw at home to Princeton, a tough loss on the road to Harvard, a 1-0 victory on a goal from well outside the range by Noelle Higginson, but last week dropping to Cornell on the road.
Finally cleared away, but only to the feet of McCauley. Thought about having a look, and that's a nice ball to the near side. Alozzi, the first time, volleyed in the back of the net.
For the 18s, Casillas bending in towards the top of the area. Hastings was challenging. Still could be on. Valenti gets it a go. And a powerful celebration at that. Yale again clearing. Looking to spring Shavrin. It's a missed touch there. Shavrin has gotten herself in with the goalie to beat. Shavrin rounds the goalie, and we are tied. Now a chance for Peduzzi to march forward. He has Diallo here in the near side with players to aim for inside the 18. Peduzzi behind him as well. Diallo, an in-swinger ball, knocked down to Kusi, but he couldn't find the final touch. Still could be on for Kusi. Left-footed effort. It's in. But it's cleared away. That was Alina Cruz, only as far as Wallig. Fairfield with 12-10 to go. Can they make something happen? It's Brown to the shot. McLean parries it wide. Habian looking to hit quickly, and she'll send it over the top. Jacobs is in, trying to get it onto the left foot. Still Jacobs going, and she gets it. Now a chance for Perez with the right. It's a loose rebound. Cleared away. Diallo! There it is! Mohamed Diallo gives New Haven their fifth. It was a loose ball in and around the 18, and Diallo composed himself enough and roofed it. Well, Shavrin comes off, you would think, just to get her a little bit of a respite as we're into the final 20 minutes here of the second half. Remember, this is not the only Yale soccer match on the slate this evening. The men will square off between Penn and Yale. That's scheduled for a 7 p.m. start. Decker linking with Cavallo, and she'll send it back with Colleen McCormick.
They need to make passes here. You know, Fran Steele, and you had mentioned it, Jay, earlier in the half, that Fran Steele was on the ball numerous times in the first 7 or 8 minutes of the second half. She hasn't touched the ball in any kind of significant way in the last 10 minutes, and the play has kind of lost its direction and lost its flow. She's the one that they should be looking for, not because she's a great kind of switcher at the ball, but she connects it and gets it to the person that needs to have it next. She does that better than anybody, and so if they can get her the ball, she can get the play started from that deep position.
Well, you could say almost she's been on an island as they're down on the far side of the field. Looks like Coy. There's Hannah Coy. Took a little bit of a late touch there, and Ariel Shavrin getting ready to come back into the match. And she puts up the 2-5, so Hannah Coy will be the next player to check off. So I think Sheridan will stay on the outside back. If anything, maybe just swap flanks. And Shavrin will check back up to add to that striking force, but she'll wait for just a moment longer. Not dealt away cleanly. McCauley near to, and this will allow Shavrin to come back on with 17:40 left.
I think he's changed his mind.
Oh, really? Yeah, Shavrin just entered came right back off here to the near side. I didn't even see her quietly creep over to the bench. And now she'll come back on, but she'll have to wait at least for a second more until Penn decides to make a sub. It'll be Erica Higa check back in.
Yeah, Hannah Coy's coming out. It's good to see her back. She's gone, what?
70 plus minutes.
70 plus, and I think that's a good outing for her. It looks like she got a little bit of a knock somewhere.
Yeah, right at that last sequence there a few moments ago. McCauley straight off the throw-in. Sheridan Decker. It's a little bit of a knock from behind. She'll switch to McCormick. This is where Yale, can they load players into the box perhaps and get some sort of service? And McCormick does well to beat a couple of defenders. That's the best look of the game thus far. Good take by Kitty Q inside, but Colleen McCormick, a rare venture for the senior out of Jericho, New York, up into the attack and made something out of nothing.
Yeah, it's good stuff from Colleen McCormick. She cuts inside, she beats the two defenders, cuts in, and then just lets fly. But Q has done well. She's risen to every challenge that Yale's thrown at her so far.
That's very good handling because there's a couple of players that are lurking perhaps for a rebound. Shavrin trying to round. That'll be a throw-in. Cavallo. And I think that last sequence was due to the run of Decker through the middle. Did well to cut across. That wasn't the ideal pass for her, wanted to get it inside, but instead saw McCormick making that run off the far flank, and eventually Colleen got herself into a good area, and she's now drawn a foul just inside halfway, and another opportunity for Yale to get big bodies forward. Can they find any sort of a knockdown in the area?
So this hasn't been a high percentage type of situation for Yale. Now, I think they could really benefit from mixing it up and playing some of these free kicks short once in a while, because this Penn team, as we've seen in both penalty areas, does very well in the air. So it's almost playing into their hands to just keep lofting balls at them.
Shavrin, a heavy touch, loses out, but Hudson stepping forward. Now Carlin Hudson into the attack. It was bouncing.
Got to be careful here. See, and that's the exact situation. When your backs are carrying forward, that means that you're vulnerable if you turn the ball over cheaply, and they got caught there almost.
Good skill by Sheridan to get it forward. Now Shavrin, Cavallo nudged off the balls. Tracking back was Olivia Blaber. Now Steele. Losey. A little bit of skill there to get it forward to Shavrin, but intercepted Lombard. Into the final quarter of an hour right now is, again, a couple closer looks for Yale. 3 saves for Kitty Q. 2 key ones here in the second half. And an important interception by Marsh as Higa was tracking off the back shoulder, but that's a bad giveaway by McCormick. Nearly got paid for it. Now Paige Lombard. This is a good sequence right now for the Quakers. Looking to connect, but the pass from Blaber not finding any intended mark, and he'll go out, and there's multiple subs getting ready to come back. And it was Coy. It was just a quick breather for her. She'll take out Decker. Penn on the other side. Kristen Miller makes her second appearance into the match, and she'll take out Cameo Hazelwood.
So Coy has gone up front now on the left-hand side. So I think Coach Meredith has his 3 speediest people up front, and as he mentioned at halftime, he was going to kind of roll the dice a little bit in favor of speed, and I think he's got his group out there now.
Cavallo nearly got Alozzi in from behind. Shavrin, who's deeper lying. Again, this game is just missing that final touch in the end product. Cavallo nearly weighted in Shavrin as well, but again, Lombard doing well as that center half, waiting it out.
You see where that came from again, JJ. Steele finds Cavallo with she's the right person in the right place, and then Cavallo plays that nice through ball that just got nicked. So I think Steele is not a glamorous player, so she doesn't really catch the eye that much, but she's an essential player in that she creates the passing sequences.
A good cut back to miss one challenge, and Yale will switch to the opposite end. McCormick. Bit wasteful, however. The header goes behind, and Kitty Q will latch onto this one here. I'm kind of curious at this point, why doesn't Yale just go through Steele more often than not? As I can see, and you and I both see it right in front of us, Steele asking for the ball, playing it to her feet, or looking to be played in. Yale just goes past her on too many occasions. Not to say that has to be the only game plan, but this part of the match right now, under 12 minutes to go. if you have players that are composed onto the ball, get it to them. As Marsh had to do well to just win out that one, sends it behind out for a corner kick.
Well, a big part of why they're not going to steal, I think, is because they're just looking to get forward and score. I mean, there's not long left. They want the win, and I think they're just kind of looking past their midfield. If you're doing that by design is one thing. If you're doing it because you don't see them, then that's a whole different story.
Mackenzie Marsh a little slow to get back up to that. That cross intended for Higa. Penn will take it short here off the corner. Emily Sands, a good cut back. The drive across the air, and it goes. It was hit through traffic, but Emily Sands, 11-11 left here in the second half, has given Penn a 1-0 lead.
So on the corner, Alozi sees it late and goes out to close it down, gets sidestepped. She ran out too quickly at the wrong angle, got sidestepped, shot through a crowd.
And Cavallo jumped out of the way at that one. She was screening Fagel clearly here, and if we could get another look at that one, that'd be great, because it looked like the last moment Cavallo ventured off her post and stood right in front of Alyssa Fagel, she didn't have any time to react as Cavallo left her feet immediately. It went over. Now another chance could be brewing here. Kristen Miller dragging across the area and swept aside is now Yale. They're going to have to throw numbers ahead here. Let's see if we can get this one right here. So Cavallo in front. That just goes right through both.
Yeah, I think she was trying to clear that. It just fooled everybody, you know, and it's but the initial mistake was made by not seeing the short corner soon enough, and then when Alozi ran at her, she was able to be sidestepped quite comfortably, and then just shot through the crowd. But again, it's a set piece, you know, and Yale hasn't defended set pieces well today, and they've paid the price now.
And could Penn be looking for more here as Lombard shot going up front from her center back position. Gets it blocked, and now Yale, they have to now hit that urgency button, get balls forward, and find Shavern, who's been oh so dangerous throughout this Ivy League season. She takes one right into the midsection. She looked to try and spring out and catch onto it. There'll be a throw in here on the near side.